Hey folks, welcome to Guitar Daily. It's Nick Granville. Thank you very much to everybody who tuned into my live stream yesterday. Today I thought I'd talk about this pedal here, the Greer LightSpeed. This is one that's sort of, it's a recent pedal. It's a kind of a newer one that's kind of on the scene. I bought this, I paid for it with my own money. They don't know I'm making this as not a sponsored video in any kind of way. I just like sharing gear stuff, you know, if people are interested in this kind of thing, then I'm happy to kind of share my opinion on it. That's all I'm going to do today. I have a love-hate relationship with this pedal. I know people love them. Totally cool if you do. You know, even like legendary players like Tom Bukovac and people like that. But for me, it's kind of just like, yeah, okay. But each to their own. But I thought I'd talk about it today anyway. And what makes it special and what I'm not so crazy about. So the first thing, let's start with my clean tone. So I'm on neck pickup, JSM100 Ibanez. You all know this guitar, right? This is the clean tone. Which is a Fender, right? It's a Fender Vibrato Luxe and the FM9. I've got a little bit of delay and a little bit of reverb. Pretty standard for me. One thing with this pedal that made a lot of guitar players kind of stand up and pay attention was the fact that it's very transparent. I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing, but I'll show you what that means, right? If this is my tone now, and I put everything at 12 o'clock, it's almost the same sound, isn't it? This is dead clean. It's got a bit of breakup. Now, of course, it's completely different if you use a single coil guitar, but with a humbucker guitar, you know, it's breaking up a little bit. If I turn up the drive a touch, now you can hear it really kind of working, right? Turn the drive up on full. So there's not a huge amount of gain. I turn the gain down on nothing. I'll balance the volume. So to me, it's one of those pedals that if I was going to use it, I'd kind of use it about halfway. And it's an always on type thing, right? Oh. Because what I'm hearing it do more than anything, it is transparent. It doesn't really change the color all that much. But what I find that it does do is it kind of gets that compression that an amp driving gets, you know. So for example, if I turned up to a gig and there was a Vox AC30 there, which is an amp I'm not crazy about. I know people love them. Again, I find they have to be dimed out before they really sound any good. I'd hit this in the front of it and that would kind of get it to compress a little bit like an amp that's cranked, and that could work. That's sort of what it does, this to me, is it kind of is that low gain compression of a tube amp type thing. You know, so that can have its uses for sure. I wouldn't use this as my only drive, I'd use it in addition to something a bit higher gain. The reason I'm not crazy about it is for me, most of the time with overdrives, I don't necessarily want transparent. I know people do, but for me, what I want is something that just sounds good. Right? And so for me, if I get a clean sound, I might want my clean sound to be quite sparkly. Especially if it was a pop gig, right? And I'm doing, I don't know. That sort of clean sound, right? And then when I go to my overdrive sound, I might go to bridge pickup. It's not pushing the amp in the way I'd normally want when I go to the bridge pickup, right? So that's one reason I love the Dude pedal so much, is that if I use that, it really pushes, it adds quite a bit of bottom end and mid-range, lower mid-range information to the sound. So when I kick down to bridge pickup, which is brighter, all that fills in what's missing in that tone. Now I could turn the drive up a bit. Now, it does sound good, but I tend to prefer pedals that just have a little more gain. I find that more versatile, and a little more, like a little bit of a fatter color to the sound. You know what I mean? A little more low mid-range push, like the Dude or a Zen Drive or an OCD. An OCD is a fantastic pedal. I find that that's one that you can do low gain, fairly dry-ish. It's not heavy gain, but yeah, still a useful pedal. This would be a good pedal if you were going to do something like you're playing country music, where you want like a clean sound. So you were going to do something like get rid of that delay. One of those sort of grooves, and then maybe had a solo. Even that's too drivey. Maybe I'd kick it up in volume a little bit for the solo. You know, where you don't necessarily want it to sound like rock, but you want a little bit more of that amp compression and push. So it would do that pretty good, right? These things are built like a tank. They're really solid. All the controls are quality. I mean, it's a quality pedal, so it's not like something you're going to break. And that's important too, right? Like for me, I'm a professional musician. This is what I do. I can't have gear that breaks. So, you know, there are these pedals that someone says, oh, you know, sounds like a tube screamer or whatever. Most of those pedals I've seen that sound like a tube screamer or sound like a whatever, they tend to be crappy made, and you know that this is going to break after about 2 or 3 gigs. Whereas this, I'm confident, would just survive. Has a quality input for the power supply, because I don't run things on batteries. I'm very rare. Yeah, so anyway, let's a quick look at the Greer amps. LightSpeed, I think it's a good pedal at what it does. It's not my favorite, but it definitely, for that low gain, little bit of compression, it's good. Hope this has been useful. If it has, use the buy me a coffee below. That's really helpful. Thanks. I'll play out with a couple more different tones. So I'm going to go to neck pickup now, and just push that up to about, let's go 2/3.